Good afternoon. Yeah, hi. Our session this afternoon will be divided into two topics. We have an IX session and we have an update from APNIC. For the IX session, we have two speakers, Mr. Ji Hu from Hong Kong IX and our very own Bani Lara. To provide us knowledge in the internet exchange from international perspective, we have Mr. Ji Hu Cheng, the Associate Director of Information Technology Services in Hong Kong. He is also regarded as Internet Pioneer in Hong Kong. Let us welcome him.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Chi Hu. I'm from HKIX, and I'm also on APNIC EC. In fact, I've been with APNIC EC for like 15 years, and I was first elected here in Manila. That was 1998. And so I'm very glad that I can come back to Manila again after like 5 years. Last time we were here was the apricot, I think, in 2009. And I was there, of course. Today I'm going to talk about HKIX. HKIX, in fact, is an IXP in Hong Kong. We mainly need to help people to do interconnection. We started it in 1995, so this year is our 20th anniversary. And our original goal is to support intra-Hong Kong traffic. To keep intra-Hong Kong traffic stay within Hong Kong. That's our original goal. And this is our, the simplified diagram of our setup. We are basically only a layer 2 network, but with the route server, we can support multilateral peering in addition to bilateral peering. As mentioned, this year is our 20th anniversary. And in fact, we started in April 1995. And when we started, we used only thin coaxial cable for the job. And then we gradually changed to use UTP cable with switch. And then gradually we changed from low-end switch to high-end switches. We changed from like one switch to multiple switches. And also for the participants in the beginning, they needed to use co-located routers to place at our site and in order to connect to us, because at that time there was no Metro Ethernet services, and people has to lease like T1 line and then use the router to convert to Ethernet in order to connect to our Ethernet switch and things like that. But nowadays, people don't need to co-locate their routers at our sites because Metro Ethernet service is so popular. And at the beginning, it was a free service. People didn't need to pay to connect to us. But nowadays, of course, in order to be self-sustained in long term, we have to have a charging model. And gradually, because of the development in the region, we gradually have more and more participants from other parts of the world, especially from Asia. We have participants from mainland China, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, and of course from Philippines, Vietnam, India, Bhutan, and other Asian countries. And we now have more non-Hong Kong routes on our route server than Hong Kong routes. And if you include the so-called bilateral peering part, I believe we have even more non-Hong Kong routes. And so we have a role to help keep intra-Asia traffic within Asia, in addition to what I just mentioned. And if you look at the network latency part, Hong Kong, in fact, is in a very good location in Asia because in terms of round-trip delay, from Hong Kong to Tokyo and back is like 50 milliseconds. From Hong Kong to Singapore and back is like 30 milliseconds. We are somewhere in the central. And so HKIX is good for intra-Asia traffic. And HKIX does help Hong Kong maintain as one of the internet hubs in Asia. And whenever I travel, I always do, trace route from the hotel network and and ping and things like that. And I also, check the Wi-Fi network. And from here, I'm very glad that, I can trace route to our web server going through HKIX. And the round trip delay is just like 20 milliseconds. I'm very happy. And the network performance is very acceptable. And yeah, as you can see, the ISP providing service to this hotel is connecting to HKIX directly. I'm very glad. And talk about HKIX today. We still support multilateral peering and bilateral peering over layer 2, and we support both IPv4 and IPv6 dual stack over the same layer 2 network. We are neutral among ISPs, telcos, all kinds of providers. And we have more and more non-Hong Kong participants. Nowadays, we have more than 240 autonomous systems connected. And in terms of physical connections, we have more than 430. Among the 430, we have 200 gig connections and more than 180 10 gig connections. In terms of peak traffic, we are at 450 gigabit at peak. And annual growth is like 30% to 40%. It's very consistent over the years. And if you look at the, traffic growth during the last 2 years, of course we have ups and downs, but the general trend is still growing. And as I mentioned, we have a charging model. It's an evolution, as I can say. We started with a free model, no charge model, but gradually we needed to have funding to support our upgrade, so we changed to a very unique charging model called penalty-based charging model. That's very unique among the world because if you don't have enough traffic, we charge you. But if you have enough traffic, we don't charge you. This is very, very unique. But no, this is not long term. So now we have a very simple port charge model for fairness and sustainability. And we started that just 2.5 years ago. And we are still not for profit. Although we are using a company, to sign agreement with participants, but our target is to be self-sustained in long term. We are not, going after, high profit. As you can see from our charge table, for 1 gig connection, it's just $120 per port per month. For 10 gig, it's just $1,000 per port per month. It's very cheap. So we consider ourselves successful. As mentioned by Archie earlier, we are actually Benny earlier. We are number 2 in Asia in terms of traffic volume. Why we are successful? I think we are neutral. That's very important. We are neutral among ISPs, telcos, content providers, and other providers. We are trustable because we are fair and consistent, and we respect business secrets of our participants. And of course, we are not for profit, so that's why we don't charge a very high charge. But one point that is also very important because we started early. We started very early. We started well before the incumbent telcos started their ISP business. So that's why we could, force the incumbent telcos to connect to us, because we already were a sizable setup before they started it. And but does it mean is hard to do it now? I don't know, but yeah, people can have a try. But at the beginning, when people set up a new IX, probably they need to think about how to provide incentive for people to connect first. After they have more participants, then they can think about other financial model. Well, we have just done a very major upgrade last year. We changed to a spine and leaf architecture using multiple switches, and we also have one more core site. We call it HKIX1B. And with that, we can provide site resilience in addition to chassis and card resilience. We also can support 100 gig connections now. And with the new architecture, we should be scalable to support more than 2.4 terabit total traffic. And we are using 100 gig lengths to interconnect our switches. And also with this architecture, we can easily support a satellite site, more connection points. I'll talk about that later. And talk about design, I think I'll skip that because it's quite detailed. But the thing is, the key point is, with this architecture, we can easily support more connections without worrying about performance bottleneck. This is the simplified diagram of our current architecture. We have the core switches, and we also have access switches. The core switches are the so-called spine, and the access switches are so-called leaves. And participants connect to our access switches, and all the access switches will have connection to the core switches. And if we need more ports, we just need to add more access switches. If we need more backbone capacity, we just need to add more core switches and or the inter-switch link between core switch and access switch. And with this architecture, we can easily support more than 6.4 terabit total traffic. And in terms of migration, of course, we have old architecture, we have new architecture. It's not easy to migrate all the connections from the old architecture to the new architecture. We need to take time to do the migration. And in fact, the migration of connection is still in progress. And the new switches actually was in production starting March last year. And and we need to interconnect the old architecture with the new architecture, and we move the circuit of connections one by one. And by August last year, all the 10 gig connections have been moved to the new architecture. We only have the lower speed connections at the old architecture now. And the HIX1B sites was in production in November last year, just half a year ago. And then we set a deadline for moving the old connections to the new architecture. That's the end of this month. After this month, we will decommission the old architecture, the old switch. And after then, we also will not support 10 megabit Ethernet and 100 megabit Ethernet. And for the upgrade, I think the result is considered successful because we have done a very we have spent a lot of effort. Our staff has been very hardworking on that, and so with this, we can also support fast deployment of satellite site. We use a proprietary protocol called Fabric Path. You can guess which vendor we are using, and and with this, in fact, the load balancing is working fine, and even with odd number of links, and also it's easy for us to add and remove interswitch links because it's transparent to the participants. So this technology is considered okay, and of course much better than spanning tree. And one important point for an IX is, people are facing DDoS attacks from time to time, and especially for ISPs with only GE connection to our switch, if they are under attack, that GE link will be congested very easily. But the thing is, for the IX, if there is congestion at one port, it must not cause trouble to other ports. That's very important. So when we set up the architecture, when we choose the equipment and also tune the parameters, we must keep that in mind. Otherwise, people will be upset because of that. And we have done something on that. And for an IX, another threat is proxy ARP. Proxy ARP is very, I don't know why people are still setting up proxy ARP. But well, we encounter problem from time to time when one of the participants accidentally enable proxy ARP, and then it will cause trouble to others. And now we are setting up some mechanism to monitor that, and at least we know the situation earlier, and then we can add, maybe disconnect the port immediately. And also for DDoS mitigation, we try to use our route server to help people to do backhauling during attack. If there is one single IP address being attacked, the relevant ISP can announce as /32, and when with special BGP community, and then we help them propagate to other ISP, and other ISPs can do backhauling. Of course, that particular IP address will still be we still have problem, but at least it will save the other IP addresses, and it will not have more traffic going through the ISP of the victim. And we are doing that, the test. More than 50 participants did the test. It was considered successful. We will declare production soon. And we'll also seek collaboration with other similar activities for maximum outcome. Okay, well, in fact, I feel very guilty because, I left the team at home, and now I'm now here. Why? Because we are doing a very important job. That is the IPv4 address renumbering. We are doing it, during a 4-day period. In fact, today is the last day of the migration, and the reason we have to do that is we are running out of IP address. We need IP address for the interconnection of VLAN. We were using /21, but it's running out, so we go straight to /23. Of course, with some special arrangement. It's very hard to get. Sorry, I say it wrongly. We were using /23, and we go straight to /21 and skip /22. Nowadays, it's very difficult to get a contiguous /21. I think you all know that. But we did some special arrangement. But anyway, that means all the participants have to do the renumbering at the same time during this period. And we ask the participant to configure 2 IP addresses during this 4-day period. That means we are doing a parallel run. And for multilateral ping part, our route server, will will help people to do it. But for bilateral peering, individual participants have to coordinate among themselves. But there is no change to IPv6 address, because there's no need for change of IPv4 address. But we are very ambitious. We want to do more things during this 4-day period. So we are also upgrading our route server at the same time, and so as to take advantage of this. And this is the schedule of these 4 days and the period before and after. And as of this moment, 85% of the participants have done the renumbering. Actually, they've configured 2 IP addresses for their router interface. And tonight will be an exciting period because we will turn off the old address and we will see what happened. We are optimistic, I would say, at least for the multilateral peering part, because we have more control on the multilateral peering part. We see what people are doing, but we cannot see what people are doing over bilateral peering. There is possibility that people will continue to use the old address for bilateral peering. We don't like that, but we will tackle that later on. But another thing is, if people don't do the configuration rights, there may be traffic. The traffic may go away. We don't want to see that happen. And anyway, this is the arrangement of the BGP sessions before, during, and after the migration period. And this is the traffic volume during the migration. We started on Monday morning, and we are still doing it. And we don't see significant traffic drop. But as I mentioned, when we turn off the old address on the route server tonight, we'll see what happens. I hope we'll still maintain the traffic volume. Anyway, let's hope for the best. And as I said, we are, with the new architecture, we are able to support more multiple sites. What's the meaning of satellite site? That means we can have presence in other data centers. Right now, our core sites are only located in our own data center in the university. When people connect to us, they have to lease a local local circuit to connect to us. And I'll give you an example. Our port charges, the 10 gig port charges, $1K US per port per month. But if they are from somewhere in town, they need to lease a local circuit, which may cost maybe 3K or 4K for the local loop. So the total cost for people to connect to us may be 4K to 5K US. And this is probably not very attractive to some people. So we want to have a better way for people to do connection. That is, to have lower cost connection. And if we have presence in the data center outside, then people can connect to us more easily without going through local circuit, and hopefully at a lower cost. We will name the new satellite site called HRS2345, and hopefully we can have 10, 20, 30. And we open up the offer to all the commercial data centers in Hong Kong, so long as they fulfill the minimum requirements. We have requirements like the security requirement, the size requirement, circuit requirement, and things like that. But the key point is this is the non-exclusive arrangement, because we don't want our neutrality be affected. So we want to use multiple satellite to maintain our neutrality. And hopefully it will create win-win situation with our satellite site partners. And if you have data center in Hong Kong and if you are interested in connecting to us, you can talk to me. And we have, planned work in the future, including with the new route server, we can introduce more advanced route server functions. We need to do better control of proxy ARP. We need to have better support for DDoS mitigation, and we need to have more control over the layer 2 network. And we need to, have a new portal for HRX participants, improve after-hour support and things. We need to, be more professional because, people are relying on us more and more. So going forward, our HRX team will be running more independently from the university, so we can provide a better service to the community. That's what I've prepared. Thank you.
Do you have questions for Mr. Chiu? Sir?
Well, we definitely need to stay in Hong Kong. If we expand our presence outside of Hong Kong, we may be, competing with some of our participants because we are providing connectivity between, like, Hong Kong to Manila. And some of our participants may not be happy. We have to be very careful what new services that we will offer. We don't want to upset our participants. Sorry.
Other questions? Okay, I think the question is mandatory for the coffee break. No reaction. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chiu. Before we call on our next speaker, Mr. Bandar, I would like to just flash again the template for the peering forum later. We actually receive already a lot of emails, so you know what I mean with a lot of emails. So please send them to Bani or just come over in front or send a text message. Our next speaker is Bani, who is handling PhOpenX in the Philippines. It's one of several which is being managed by ASTI, and it's an IPv4, IPv6 compliant IX that encourages free exchange of traffic in the free market environment. To discuss further, Mr. Bani Lara.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Bani Lara from ASTI. I just like to flash this short reminder to the people who I gave the right NCC sensors to. Make sure when you go back to your network, you plug it in. It works easily via DHCP, but if you don't have that in your network, there are instructions on the website on how to statically assign an IP address on it. The website is on the calling card inside the plastic bag. What exactly is it? It's a global network of probes that basically measures internet connectivity. It's another internet measurement tool. Several of other projects that's doing the same thing. It helps measure the internet, and hopefully it can help benchmark quantitatively the speed of the internet in the Philippines compared to other countries. So it's a complement to what Speed Test does or UCLA does and all of those other measurement tools. Okay. There are a lot that's deployed all over the world, and RIPE right now is being aggressive in terms of hopefully deploying around 10,000 more sensors in different countries. Atlas.ripe.net/probes lists all of the live ones that's located in the Philippines. You can click the PH part. So it looks like this. So if you don't have a sensor yet and you want to host one, just approach me later. Okay. We just need to make sure that there's no duplication between networks. If your colleague already has one, then please don't get one anymore para hindi doble-doble. So it looks like that. It's USB powered, so you can power it from wherever. Whatever device is convenient in your network, you can just plug in via USB. Then just a UTP port. Okay. Don't remove the USB flash disk. It contains the operating system to run everything. Okay, so I was asked to give an update about Philippine Open Internet Exchange. Membership through the years, when we launched way back 2007, there was active marketing in promoting this project. So 8 members, then the next year 1, 3, 2. 2011, 2012 was a low year for us. We had 0 new members. 2014, there were a lot who went on board. I think maybe because of the help of Senator Bam's office. One of his staff is here right now. She's over there at the back. So they are fighting a lot on the Senate floor in terms of improving our internet, both on the short-term policies and on the long-term policies. So 2014, we got a lot of media mileage, and networks started noticing the benefit of internet exchanges. 2015, we already have 7 new partners. So right now, there are 33 directly peered ASNs, meaning networks who spent some money to get a local loop to connect directly to the switch. So I use direct because some of the networks also announce their customers or their other peers. So they're serving as a transit to get to the internet exchange. So a list is located at www.phopnix.net/members. All of the contacts, AS numbers, network names, all are listed there. Upcoming members, at least those who committed to connect or inquired about how to connect to the network. These are the networks that we're talking to. Crossout SSS, DSWD, IPS, and the newest one is College of St. Benilde. We connected them just last Friday. So hopefully, all of these other networks will come soon so that we can increase our traffic, increase membership. Okay, another update. We just turned on an Akamai cache inside the Internet Exchange, and you can actually see the savings. Right now, ASTI is providing out of our own bandwidth the cache fill for the Akamai cache. So we're doing around 100, 200 peaks of 300 to give to Akamai for them to fill the cache with content. Then we push out that content to the Internet Exchange, and the return is around 200 gig, 2.22 gig, 2.8 gig on a good day. So if you can see the ratio, it's around 200 is to 2 gig, more or less. So in terms of ASTI's, in terms of the Philippine government's donation of an internet port to Akamai to fill the cache, there's a return 10 times of what we gave, 2 gig, to distribute to the community, to distribute to the networks that are peered inside the Internet Exchange. Google Global Cache, this was the Google Doodle last June 12, the Philippines Independence Day. And for this one, we are quote-unquote donating around 400 meg to the Google Cache. And we're getting a return of around 1.2 gig. So also a good ratio. And because of the growth of the Internet Exchange, recently, Google emailed us around, I think 3 weeks ago, that the hardware is due for upgrade. So at least that's a good sign. We are already on the, I don't know, long-term list of Google caches. Because there was a time wherein Google communicated to us that they needed to decommission the cache because the traffic inside the IX was way below their standards. And to maintain for them a Google cache within the IX was not really beneficial because they were not getting the return of investment in terms of traffic. The server for them is actually quite cheap compared to what they're earning every day. But it's the traffic that's important to them. So during that time, I had to knock on the doors of 2 universities, actually 3 universities here. For them, I actually basically begged them to open YouTube inside their campuses so that the traffic of Google would go up, so that they would reconsider removing the cache. So it's good that these 3 universities helped increase the traffic within the Google cache. So Google didn't remove the servers. And yeah, 3 weeks ago, they're gonna upgrade the servers to 10 gig ports. Also, we got this stamp from the Google website that we now qualify for Google peering. Yeah. So we now qualify for Google peering. Unfortunately, the nearest Google peering point is in Hong Kong, and it's gonna be an expensive link from Manila to Hong Kong. So we're not peering with them anytime soon, just the Google Cache. Okay. Okay. This is another good development. For those of you familiar with the root DNS infrastructure, there are 13 all in all over the world. 10 are operated by North American entities, 2 in Europe, and 1 is operated by an Asian entity. The iRoot has been mirrored at the Internet Exchange ever since day 1. So the hardware was paid for by APNIC. Thank you for that. And they have supported the Internet Exchange ever since. Then I think in the first year of the operations of the IX, Packet Clearinghouse, through the help of Gov't, sent their servers, and mirrored on it was the D-root, the E-root, and the L-root. So there are now 4 root servers inside the Internet Exchange. Before, there was no root server mirrored anywhere in the Philippines. We got our name resolution all the way from abroad. Then just recently, I think around 3 weeks ago also, VeriSign sent their server to the Internet Exchange. So we now have the J-root in the IX. Some traffic statistics. Apologies for the traffic graph on the website. We're fixing it. I think it's already fixed if I'm not mistaken. If not, we're still fixing it. Bottom line, this is the traffic graph from an old slide, April 16, 2012, wherein we were just doing 100 meg on a good day. So during this time, the IX was like treated like a test bed, like a play toy that the science ministry is doing, and nobody really took it seriously. So 2012, then fast forward today, June 15, we are now doing 8 gig, more or less, of traffic on the internet exchange. It's very low compared to the internet exchanges of our neighbors, but at least it's a start. So we hope we can improve more the local peering here in the country. Recent upgrades, PTNT is the biggest right now in terms of traffic generation within the IX. They had 100 meg around 4 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. Then they upgraded to 1 gig because it was getting congested. Cable Link also upgraded from 100 meg to a gig. Manila Internet Exchange, the IX of ETPI, upgraded from 100 meg to 1 gig just 2 weeks ago. Wi-Fi City also around 3 weeks ago upgraded their port from 100 meg to 1 gig, and Planet Cable upgraded their local loop from 100 meg to 200 meg. To be upgraded, DCTV from 100 meg, from what Sir mentioned during the coffee break, it's going to be 500 meg. So not 300 meg. Converge ICT, Sir Jeff said that they will upgrade to 1 gig. Ateneo, they're doing 200 meg right now, and I think the timeline is around 4 weeks to get the fiber up and running so that it will run on 1 gig. Radius, they're just waiting for the new transceivers, and once it arrives, they're going from 100 meg to 1 gig port. Okay, so those are the updates in terms of the link capacities within the Internet Exchange. A little backtracking, we would want to thank sort of like the forefathers of PhOpenIX, the people who helped build the infrastructure. I think most of you know Amante Alvaran. He was an engineer before from Globe, then went to APNIC. So from what he told me, he met a lot of people with internet resources from all the conferences that he attended. And he saw the lack of peering inside the country as a major problem that needed to be solved. So he tried to find the pieces to piece together the solution. So he asked Paul Wilson for resources. He went to Bill Woodcock. Bill Woodcock is a famous internet exchange builder. He helps a lot of countries build their IXS. Before Gov't was employed or doing consultancy with PCH, so Gov't was the one who flew into Manila to help us build everything. Philip Smith advised us on configuration, best practice, so on and so forth. Of course, NetNod through APNIC's funds put in the first root server in the Philippines. Bill Manning provided the IPv4 and IPv6 block. Then CJ Dideles was the ASTI engineer who was the first network engineer for the Internet Exchange. So these guys basically started the whole thing way back 2007. So thank you. This was the press release on APNIC's Appster publication. So Neutral IX and root server launched at the first PhNOG meeting in Manila. So I think maybe this is the question to ask Sir Achi's. This is the answer to Sir Achi's question on when was the first PhNOG. At least from this press release, it was during 2007. So I'm not sure if there were others way before. This was the article of Erwin Oliva of Yahoo Philippines that's now closed. First RP root server now live, improves local net traffic. So that was released June 17, 2007. Of course, we would like to thank Sir Wilson Chua. He is a Filipino entrepreneur who has an ISP all the way in Dagupan. That's like a 4-hour drive north of Manila. He's now based in Singapore. Bottom line, we want to thank him because he was the first, outside of the DOST network, he was the first network to connect to the Internet Exchange. So he believed in the internet exchange when there was no AS, there was no prefixes there was no traffic. He funded the link from Dagupan to Manila. That's quite expensive to be the first participant inside the internet exchange. Also, thank you to ERI. We do some of our equipment logistics through them. So sorry for hassling you with that. Okay, current situation. There's a lot of grumbling among Philippine netizens about slow and expensive internet in the country. I think this slide or this picture started it all last year. People really didn't discriminate about its source or its methodology, how it was measured, how it was taken. But bottom line, the picture stuck that we were at the bottom part of the graph in terms of internet quality. So I think this started a lot of noise in terms of the media, in terms of Senate, Congress, and all the other stakeholders. And it got people to actually look at the problem deeper and try to find a solution. So right now there's a lot of media mileage. If you Google internet, Philippine slow, expensive internet, you can get a lot of articles. And right now we're getting a lot of help in terms of political will. From an internet exchange slide that I saw, I forgot where, it said an internet exchange is 90% political, 10% technical. That's actually true. The internet exchange is just a switch with a route server. Maintenance on it is relatively simple if you're still this small, not Hong Kong IX big. But bottom line, to get the participants to connect to it, it's a lot of politics. It's a lot of lobbying, a lot of meeting with people, a lot of reaching out, a lot of marketing to actually get them to connect. So this was what Sir Medel was talking about earlier this morning. Government thinking of making broadband internet as a basic service. This has pros and cons, but bottom line, the argument is going to this level in terms of strictly regulating internet in the Philippines. So we don't know if it's good or if it's bad, but bottom line, be aware of what's happening, especially on the Senate and congressional floors, because whatever is pushed out of those chambers will be the law of the land. Okay. The regulator right now is doing a lot of public hearings in terms of a good methodology to actually measure the internet from the perspective that's acceptable to users and also acceptable from the telcos. So a lot of debate on that, and make sure you're updated about what's happening. Okay, goals for the future. More networks at the switches, hopefully more content providers locating to the internet exchange. Set up exchanges outside of Manila if there are resources. IP blocks for expansion. Right now we're working on donation in terms of sustaining the hardware for the IX. So we hope to get more donated old equipment from friends. More network training. And also possibly become a member of the APIX Association. Okay. So this June, hopefully before the end of June, we are putting a switch at Cebu City. So for those of you located in Visayas and Mindanao, this will be a closer switch for you. Our intention is for this to be a midway, so that networks from Vismin don't have to go all the way to Manila to connect. That's the usual request that we get. Okay, so last, your network is part of the process of growing this IX, so make sure you do that role. Something as simple as prepending your other uplinks to prefer IX routes. That actually helps a lot. I mentioned network training. We're trying to do a lot of those things, especially on BGP, because rate of attrition of network engineers in the Philippines is very high. Your talented people are here today, then they're gone tomorrow. And I talked to a lot of you guys, and there's a lot of engineers leaving and not having proper documentation in place. So some of you, I help reverse engineer your network so that we can tweak it properly to benefit from the IX. So the IX is not automatic benefit. You need to tweak something on your network for you to prefer routing to it. So that's basically the meaning of it. You need to work hard to benefit from the internet exchange. So I think that's the last slide. The slides are posted at www.phopnix.net/arm2015.pdf. We also have a Facebook page for informal updates. So I hope you can also check that out. So thank you. And do we do questions now? Later. Any questions? Questions, sir? Actually, sir, if there's a willing host and we have hardware and there's enough ASNs, enough networks to peer, we can do Mindanao. Any more questions? Sir, sorry, you're from DC Tech. Okay. So maybe DC Tech is willing to host. Okay, so if there are no more questions, thank you.
Thank you, Sir Bunny. For our next speaker, she will share with us APNIC's route origin authorization. She is a senior internet resource analyst and liaison officer in Southeast Asia and represents APNIC's Resource Services Department. Let us welcome Ms. Ana Mulingbayan.
Okay, I think I'll just stand here kasi hindi niyo ako makikita behind the podium. My name is Ana. I'm from APNIC, and this afternoon I'll be doing a route origin authorization. Before I start, I would like to ask from the audience, how many in this room are using my APNIC? Sino po yung mga APNIC members dito na gumagamit ng my APNIC? Just a quick show of hands, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so bali, sa my APNIC, we have this, I'll be speaking more Tagalog today, I hope it's okay. Meron po tayong tool sa my APNIC which is called Resource Certification. And in that tool, it will allow you to create the ROA, which is the Route Origin Authorization. ROA is a digitally signed cryptographic object that is generated by that Resource Certification Service. Now, ano pa yung purpose why we need to create ROA? Well, ROA is part of the whole RPKI infrastructure, which is short for Resource Public Key Infrastructure. This framework enables you public networks to verify the authenticity of data that has been digitally signed by the rightful custodian or user of the IP address. So ano po ba yung mga usage or advantages of creating ROA? Okay, so the first benefit is for security reasons. It will allow you to verify the authorized AS number announcing a specific IP address. Also, it will help you minimize common routing errors. So for example, merong overlapping or nagkakaroon ng dalawa, able to identify kung ano ba yung tamang route na ipapropagate po sa yung network. And lastly, it also helps you prevent mostly accidental or it could be deliberate hijacks. So paano ba nangyayari yung hijacks? Okay, so I'll show in this diagram. You can see here na AS2 is the legitimate owner of this /16. Pero, may isang ISP na pwedeng mag-announce from the same prefix. So it could be a more specific prefix, but they are announcing it from a different AS. So hindi siya valid AS number na dapat nag-a-announce nung IP address. Now, without ROA in place, pag nakita ni AS4 yung dalawang routes coming from both AS3 and AS2, most likely ang mangyayari is ipropagate niya yung dalawang prefix will be coming from both AS3 and AS2, which is dapat sa AS2 lang nanggagaling yung traffic. Okay, so when we have ROA in place, it is not valid. So, use ng ROA. Okay, so how do you create a ROA object? It's actually quite very simple. APNIC, I think, more prefix and also an IP address. So, i-define nyo lang is kung ano yung authorized na prefix na i-announce ng AS. To create it in my APNIC, first is you have to become an APNIC member kasi ang mga authorized lang na makakagamit ng my APNIC are those who have APNIC account. And then, once na maka-access kayo sa my APNIC, kailangan ay install yung digital certificate nyo. So, kung po pwede sana, during this session, ma-check nyo kung properly installed yung digital certificate nyo, and then I can help you create your ROA objects. Okay, so ito po yung screen cap kung paano nyo gawin sa My APNIC yung ROA. Very simple lang siya. Makikita nyo dito yung list ng AS numbers nyo, yung prefix na i-announce nyo, and then ito yung mga suggested ROA objects. I-click nyo lang yung button. And then, at the lower part, merong commit button wherein the system will automatically generate your ROA objects. Okay, ito naman yung section where you can manually create ROAs. Kasi yung mga suggested ROA kanina ng system could not be the right prefixes na ina-announce nyo sa AS number. So, in this section, what you can do is specify manually yung AS number nyo at saka yung prefix na i-announce nyo under your AS number. And then this is the maximum length na pwede nyo i-announce. Okay, so, ano ba yung mission ko while I'm here? We're actually inspired sa nangyaring success story sa Bangladesh when we held the PhNOG last month. After nung PhNOG conference, nag-visit yung APNIC staff for 13 companies in Bangladesh. And during that week, we managed to help those 13 organizations to create 561 valid ROA objects. So, in a matter of week, nag-increase ng 24% yung mga ROA objects na na-create. And if you look at the leaderboard, dati wala dyan yung Bangladesh. So now they're also on top of the leaderboard. Kaya ang mission ko while I'm here is to get our members here in APNIC to create their ROA objects. So I'll be here for the rest of the afternoon. Kung gusto nyo makreate yung ROA objects nyo, I'm happy to help. So yun po. And is there any questions? Medyo nag-ano yung boses ko, pero anyone who would like to, like people from PLDT and Globe, if you want my assistance this afternoon, I can help you do the, yeah. No, actually, yung sa NTT na route object is totally different from this one. So, yung RPKI is actually on testing stage. And this is in preparation of having the RPKI in place. So, yung record, say for example, ng PLDT sa My APNIC is totally different records sa NTT record nyo.
Okay, so does that mean all created route objects via My APNIC will be hijack-free? Can APNIC assure that?
Yes, I can say na hijack free kasi at this stage, nasa testing stage pa lang siya. So, even makreate mo lahat ng objects from PLDT, then it doesn't really affect your operations.
Okay.
Ang maganda lang nun, once you create all your objects, you're prepared once it's in production. Gaurav, you want to mention anything? Sorry?
I think I'll clarify what his question was. At this point of time, I think having RPK ROA won't prevent you from hijacking because not everybody is using it. Right? But that does not mean that you should not do it, right? Because it does not make any difference. It's just a matter of creating ROA, and then you can go and start testing it in the lab and things like that, right? This is like 10 years, 12 years ago, I was saying the same thing about V6. Still say the same thing, please do it. But with case of ROA, I think it might be faster with incidents like what happened last week with TMNet and Level 3. It was a mistake, but if it was validated, if Level 3 was validating the routes coming out of Telecom Malaysia, then they would not have leaked it further, right? So creating a ROA is just one step that will let you go and actually do some testing. And, there's training material on the APNIC website which will help you download routing software that works on GNS and whatever that thing is called, emulation stuff that will let you actually test in a lab environment. And I think currently you can, at least for Cisco and Junipers, you can go and download iOS or JuneOS that will actually support validating, which means at least you can get it tested, right? But no, not many networks actually use it in production. Right? I know that some people have started looking at it, but they are not automated it. Like Deutsche Telekom will actually look at it, and they have a scripting system that will catch who has a ROA and who doesn't have ROA. And from Limelight, Deutsche Telekom guys always ping me and say, "Oh, do your ROA, do your ROA." We haven't managed to do it for our European prefixes yet, different operational region, but they have actually started pinging. And I think NTT is getting to a stage where they'll start telling their big customers, "Hey, can you do this?" The thing is twofold. One is we always think that, hey, we do RPKI, you put the decision logic on the router, and everything is automated, right? I don't think we are heading there right now. But what this DTAG and NTT are doing is, because the IRR data is so much junk in there, there's anybody who's used IRR knows there's like plenty of junk in that whole system, is to use the RPKI data as a more trusted, a higher trusted level of data compared with IRR. So just by having your ROAs created, at least with DTAG and NTT, they'll make that highly trusted in their existing system, which basically is using IRR. So they'll look at that data and say, okay, they have ROA, so this is validated because it is so that answers your second question. The first question now, I'll go back to your first question about NTT. Basically with NTT, RADB, ALTDB, whatever, you can register anything, right? With APNIC, you can only register route objects and RPK ROAs for allocation that is made by APNIC, right? Which means that APNIC is certifying that you are supposed to have it, right? That's where the trust comes from, right? Because if you go and trust RADB data, then you can't really trust it 100% all the time. Because I can take any prefix you have, and because I have paid $50 to RADB, I can go and register anything, right? So that is the differentiating factor coming into play. So hope I answered or clarified.
Thank you, Gaurav. And another thing I would like to share was when we were in Thailand last March for the PhNOG, I think most of the large members there are asking the same question, kung makaka-affect ba siya sa operational when you create ROA in MyAPNIC. Actually, the answer is no. So if you create all your allocations from APNIC and have ROA objects in MyAPNIC, it won't affect your operation. So yun yung isa sa mga questions na nare-receive namin. So like I mentioned earlier, one of my goals is actually put the Philippines on the map in terms of the leaderboard. So I would like to encourage you to approach me maybe after this session. If you are ready to create your ROA, just log into my APNIC, make sure your digital certificate is installed. Kung hindi pa installed yung digital certificate nyo, I can help you create and request the digital certificate. And if we don't have enough time today, what I can do is get your contact details, and then by next week I'll be in the office. So I'll just contact you on the phone and I can do the support over the phone. Okay, I think this slide has been discussed by Paul this morning, so I won't really talk much about it. If you have any questions, we can do one-on-one session because I also look after Philippine members in terms of resource delegation. So if you have other questions apart from ROA and you want to have a consultation, you have any particular question about APNIC, then I'm happy to do the consultation during the tea break or even during the social event tonight. So that's all from me. I hope you get something out of my presentation na medyo mabilis. Is there any other questions? Could be anything else, not really about ROA. But I hope I get more members to create ROA in the Philippines. Para next time, nandito na tayo sa record ng mataas sa percentage na nag-create ng ROA. No questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anna. So this will be the last session for today. We call it the networking or meet and greet or / peering personals. This is the first time that we're going to do this in terms of PhNOG, but this kind of introduction is normal if you attend international events that deals with meeting new peers or getting to know who are you actually talking to. We'll be flashing the template that you've seen earlier, and it would be appreciated if those people who sent the details of their network would also introduce their network here on stage. Bunny? First one. First one is Asti, so I will give the mic to Bani.
So, Sir Achi floated this idea that maybe we should introduce our networks to each other so that we know who is inside the room, and maybe there's peering or collaboration that can happen between the two of you. So we are ASTI, we are AS9821, basically a research network. We've been operating since year 2000. We mainly connect research institutes and academic institutions to our network. We peer locally and we peer currently at Hong Kong. We are AS9821 at peeringdb.com. Our NOC is ops@prezi.net. Okay, second network that we're running is the Internet Exchange, AS4779. Its peering is local. It's as4779.piringdb.com, and the contact for the Network Operations Center is ops@phopnix.net.
Next is Globe Telecom. I also represent Globe Telecom as the peering manager. AS is 4775. We peer locally and international. Local, we also have our own IX, which is AS 18392. International, we are present in Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, LA, and Seattle. Peering DB entry is that one, and you can contact me for peering details.
AS 8392, you are about to peer to PhOpenIce, right? Okay. Next week, hopefully.
Yesterday. Where's, what port, Bunny? Port size? So I always happen namin. Okay. Next. Can we also call our PLDT friend? So actually we have to be honest, no? So we showed the template, but we only received actually a few info. So we did this, filled it up for them to show you actually who the members were, who are the people in the room, and probably we can meet face to face. PLDT still here? Let's skip it first. Yes, please. This is the first time we did this, so lalabas sa dyaryo.
Yeah, hello. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm from Ace Wireless. We're based in Boracay Island, Malayaklan. Our ASN number is 58757, and we are peering locally. And I'm the contact person, Zenny at acewifi.net. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, the first brave soul. So, who will be the next? Data one. We were actually approached by Miss Eileen. Hi, boss. She told me that I won't call her, so I'm breaking that promise. Can you be the second brave soul? No? Okay, so I'll introduce her. Data one, it's a data center, AS24078, peering locally, no DB entry. Contact is Miss Eileen. Can you at least stand, ma'am? Miss Eileen.
UP Diliman, Jason or Jerry? Short lang, on the mic.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Jason Chow from UP Diliman. Kami nag-ooperate ng UP Diliman Network or DILNet. Yung office namin, University Computer Center, located within Diliman. So, dalawang computer center within Diliman. Kami yung nasa loob ng campus, katabi ng engineering. So, AS number namin, 23862. Peering location, basically peer namin si Reginet. Tapos, so yung contact person, pwede pong ako or kahit sino po sa office namin sa University Computer Center. Yung email address namin, computer.center@upd.edu.ph. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir. Ateneo de Manila. You want?
Is Patrick Medina from the IT Resource Management Center. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For UP Los Baños. Sir Sunny. Game, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm from UP Las Bañas, so our ASN number is 45209. Actually, our pairing is Erie, with Erie, right? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Next is Erie. Marco was the speaker earlier this morning. AS number 1772. Virginia. Next. College of St. Benilde. Hi, ma'am. We can see you. There.
So
Thank you.
hi, from College of St. Benilde. We're actually peering with PhNOG also.
Thank you. Okay, UP Manila is not here. ASN 45600. Next.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm Darwin Laurencio. Sir Ariel Bitan is my boss. He's the director of the Information Management Service Office. Our ASN number is 45600. We are paired with PreGenet and also OpenIX. And we also have PLDT links.
Thank you.
Apologies, medyo minadali ko to. Anyone from Black Lotus here? None? Okay.
Do we have anybody from DSWD? Okay, next. From SSS? Okay, next. From MIX? MIX is actually the local internet exchange of ETBI or Eastern Telecom. Do we have somebody from SSS? Sir?
Yes, good afternoon. We are our ESN number is 132198. We are government. So that's all.
Thanks, sir. Next is Philcom. I know the shirt color. Ma'am. Game na. It's showtime.
It's Philcom's network that Chehu made an example earlier about the low latency from the Philippines going to Hong Kong IX. So sila yan, Philcom.
The provider in this hotel is actually Philcom. We're friends. Okay, I will Converge ICT. Sir Jeff.
Hi, my name is Jeff Briones. So I'm representing Converge ICT. So we have also a local exchange connected to other providers. But since Bunny and the other guys already connected to ASTI, so eventually we will decommission the IX and point it to ASTI. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
So I think I didn't get everything. Sir from Sky Cable is here. Wala na rin. From Asian Vision, sir, can you introduce your network briefly? Is it okay?
Hi, Achi. Asian Vision, our registration is AVCHI Click. Our ASN number is 56099. We're cable and broadband service provider. Right now, we don't have established peering with PhOpenIX yet. The contact number would be Jeff Salazar.
It's okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, sir. Yes. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So, nandyan ba? O hindi mo nilagay? Kasi wala kasi sa Mindanao eh.
Go. The floor is open.
We're from DC Tech. We're an ISP also. We are peered locally to local carriers. Our ASN is 38553. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Okay. Safe trip, sir. Do we have Mr. Stephen around? Share info about their network. The floor is open. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I think I have sent the, I already sent the email a few minutes ago. Well, PLDT is a telco ISP operating AS9299 and AS7707 for the PHIX. We have peering location in Makati for the PHIX and IDC. And that's for the local. And for the international, we have the LA and Hong Kong. For the contact, you can email us. For the peering contact, you can email peering@pldt.com.ph. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Other peers? Sir? Please.
I'm from Black Fiber Solutions, local ISP, AS59322. I'm Jeff.
Hi, Sir Jeff. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm from Cable Lincoln Holdings Corporation. We are, our core business is actually cable TV, but we also engage into internet services. Our ASN number is 45499, and we also do last mile connection. So if ever there are groups here interested to get our local loop services, you can contact me or any of our PhNOG engineers. Thank you.
Ma'am Len, sorry for forgetting you. Cable Link is the second biggest contributor of traffic within PhOpenIX.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Lizelle from Sky Broadband. So our AS number is 23944, and we have international peering like HKIX and also Google. So our contact person is Jose Katubigan Jr. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So this is the... Are there still more?
Good afternoon. I am from Textron Corporation. Our AS number is 4759. We are a local ISP. We do local loops operating wireless equipments.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, that's Textron Corporation.
Apologies.
Hi, I'm Raul Benasa of Calibo Cable. Our AES number is 132021. Peering location at Calibo and Boracay. We have direct peel with PLDT, Globe, and Bayan.
Good. So we'll just fill up the details later.
I'm Planet Cable, Camille Lara. AS number 133623. Peering local. Contact NOC at planetcabletv.com.
Sir, can we get your AS again? 1333623. Sir.
From DCTV Cable Network. Background, cable TV also. AS number 13334. Apat na 3. Yeah. Okay. And contact person is Arnel Francisco.
Thank you, sir. I think everybody's excited for the drinks. That's why they want the session to be over. No? The floor is still open. Last call. Okay, so thank you for that. We'll just email the details and clarify other stuff that were not updated properly. We'll just share the rationale for this one. It's always best to know who are you talking about. I know some of us are already coordinating. We haven't seen them for like years, and then eventually you see them face to face. So this a good way to actually see or actually know who are you talking to. Bit of a background there, no? In Globe, when I was going to international conferences, they actually have a very faint image of Philippines. When we say like Globe or other ISPs, they actually don't know. But because of this kind of peering sessions to introduce your network, now they know who are the players in the Philippines. So we actually want to share that kind of setup here. And I think, the PhNOG team thinks that it will help in making this organization better and help the advancement of the Philippine internet. Next schedule is a coffee break, and then we wrap up for the drinks. Thanks again.
Andito, definitely andito pa.
Hanggang naked dito. Nakalasing na kayo.
Jeff. Si Patrick ang kausap ko dati. Ano pa rin? Busy yata sa dati.
Sorry, I need to go to the airport. So
Okay.
great to see you again. Bali, great to.
Take care.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy the meeting. See you.
So you're serving in that. Sir, nice meeting you, sir.
Congrats sa atin.
Congrats sa atin. Galing ka na si Vincent. The best.
Bago sila pa nag importante na sa kanila yung chip sa kanila yung server. Sigurado. Importante na sa kanila yung ako nakakalimutan. Yun yung chicken and eggs. Track ka ng member. O sabihin, sino lang na.
It's an online.
Sino na? Dalawang ASN. So, sa start niya, namin yung pala namin yung jumpstart. I-share namin yung Manila sa specific yung Amy. Pag sino mo na-try medyo parang mag-boy. Actually, yung moderate kasi over kasi kunyari
nasa ano pa? Nasa Tonga. Kausap mo mga regulator ng subsidy.
Siyempre lahat ng market nasa kasama. Totally experience to. Parang ano, parang Japan. Tokyo and Osaka. Either
So, bahala lang ba?
Upo sila.
Okay, you can ask her also about
Yes. Good afternoon. We're inviting everyone to go over at the back. We'll do our photo op, then remarks, and then we go to our favorite part, the drinking session.
Kasi yung ano, yung multiplex ay yung ako. One yan.
Mic test. VIP. APNIC EC. Okay. APNIC EC members, hello. Please take the chairs. And we'll have one row at the back standing, and we'll have the rest in front sitting down. And the photo will be taken from above. Aerial shot. Yeah. Bunny, sit. Bunny. Harapan ka daw. May request some to sit down in front. Maybe the boys. Miss May. Hello. But before we go, we have announcement on the schedule. So after a photo op, we have closing remarks from APNIC, and we award the speakers. And then the most awaited part, the drinking session, which is paid by APNIC. So the bar opens at 4:30. View bar. We still have 20 minutes. Yeah, 44th floor. So what do you want to do? 45th floor. So I call now for the closing remarks.
I just wanted to say on behalf of APNIC, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming along today. We really appreciate it. Thank you to ASTI and PhNOG for helping us out and arranging this event. In particular, I'd like to thank May, Pinky, Barney, Archie, and Mitz. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you all for coming along. And if I can add a shameless plug for APNIC 40 at the end, if you can make it to Jakarta in September, we'd love to see you at APNIC 40. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, and Molly is asking me for a show of hands. Who would like to go? Who's going to the bar at 4:30? Everybody? Yep. Okay. Everybody.
Thanks again. So we just like to present some tokens to the speakers. So Tony, may we ask you again? First speaker is Mr. Pani Lara. Please accept your token. Photo. You want it there? Just have it. Change venue. Okay. Mr. Maimura-san. Winthrop Yu. So Win. Okay. Some more. Mr. Medel Ramirez. Okay, not here. Paul Wilson also left already. Sanjaya is still here. Okay, Marco already left. Mr. Gaurab Upadhyaya. Mr. Chi Hu from Hong Kong IX. Miss Ana Muling Bayan. And last but not the least, Mr. Achi Atienza. Right now, 4:30 at what floor? 45th floor. Vu Bar. So we can pack up and ready to go there. Thanks again.